Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Tiana here once again, and I'm back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, folks, welcome to the extra video of Kirby's Dream Land 2. Now, unlike the ones in Kirby's Adventure Let's Play that Mickey did manage to tackle through a lot of extra things on that game, unfortunately though, for Kirby's Dream Land 2, there aren't any huge amount of stuff you can do here. Besides, if you manage to able to 100% your save file, you can actually unlock yourself your option menu, which even then, this will lead you to a sound test, which is self-explanatory, very much like in Kirby's Dream Land 1 and Kirby's Adventure. There you can listen to your background music, including some sound effects in here and there too. Kind of thing about it though is that this image, it reminds me like they were actually on a pub or restaurant or something, or maybe they went on to the let's just say a casino gamble fest, maybe. But even then, it does look pretty cool by the looks of it, though. So, but I digress with the old, images of Kirby, Ko, and the both variations of the Goo, characters, and also Rick the hamster, and, Kine the fish. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting image. Next thing we'd like to showcase off is the bonus mode, which basically it functions as the minigame compilation syndrome. Like, we have to tackle through all 6 of those boss challenges really quickly, and it's up to you to actually get, hopefully able to grab, I would say 60 stars in total. Maybe I might be wrong about that, but even then though, it's been a while since I actually touched these, boss minigames ever since, well, the 3rd part of this Let's Play. So, well, these modes, alongside with the boss attack, very much like how it does in Kirby's Adventure, is entirely optional if you want to able to actually see what the best reward after doing that. But it doesn't require you to able to actually go for 100% completion. And so when it gets to Kirby's Dream Land 3, on the other hand, it's a completely different story. And especially noticeable in Kirby Superstar, aka Kirby's Fun Pack for the Super Nintendo, and even the latest Kirby games and onwards. So even then though, there are some exceptions, which are, well, obviously Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, and also Kirby Mouse Attack or Squeak Squad for North America. But I do notice in the future games, most notably Kirby's Adventure Wii or Kirby's Return to Dreamland, does require you to able to 100% it. And plus, Kirby Triple Deluxe and Kirby Planet Robobot, and possibilities of Kirby Star Allies, but we don't know exactly for sure for this though, for that point. So anyways, obviously for this particular bonus mode, as you can see right there, you have to tackle through those 6 minigames on the forms of grabbing all the stars routine. The only one I found is a little bit more of a pain in the bum though is definitely the 3rd one, because the screen is constantly scrolling all the time, and as a result, again, if you get hit by the Goldo right there, yeah, and you pretty much move on to the next. So you don't usually fail on these minigames that much until you get to the next couple of minigames notice. But for what it's worth is how the fact that, well, it's entirely optional though. But the only reward you can get in the forms if you're trying to able to grab every single stars in every single boss challenges, it gives you a secret special image, which basically what happens is though is the fact that it shows us the Kirby's animal friends showing up, in addition to Kirby's actually hold himself the forms of the rainbow sword, and I think that's about it when it comes to that reward. So yeah, there's not much else we can actually talk for that point or noting for. And then, as I mentioned earlier, that's how the fact that during the last video is that this game actually retains 2 different endings, which I'll get into more details onto that until when we get to after we're done with the boss rush attack. So even then though, that's yeah, that's as far as I can say. So but even then though, we're actually on the 6th and the final boss challenge minigame right here. But again, the only ones I found is a little bit more difficult is the 3rd one, just because it's way too fast, and plus you need to keep an eye on your track of how the fact that you don't lose your tracking by the forms of trying to grab these mini-star collectibles. Which even then though, that might be sounds... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. How many stars there are? I think there are about 15 of them. So naturally, all you have to get is just basically up to, I would classify for saying 60... Oh wait, I think it was a little bit too much there. So, yeah, as you can see, I've got my bad rating on here. It means I've missed some of these mini-stars I've almost about to obtain. And also, not to mention, I think if you manage to get them all, you get yourself a special image. So, that makes it pretty obvious. So here we go, folks. This is the boss rush attack, which much like how it does it in Kirby's Adventure, that you normally have to go through all the bosses again, but in forms of, you know, you have 0 lives to your disposal, and you only have to do this with 1 attempt. So no mistakes you need to be made here, because if you made simple mistakes, well, you get kicked out in the entirety of the boss rush arena. So, however, though, there's going to be a little bit more. This mode is going to be a lot more difficult than the likes of Kirby's Adventure counterpart. Is that, well, there's actually quite a number of things. For one, you can't actually use your animal friends with you this time around, though, which makes it incredibly, well, unforgiving, but it informs about the fact that, well, it makes it a little bit more difficult than the likes of Kirby's Adventure counterparts. 2, obviously, no Kirby abilities to be used. And thirdly, is the forms of this third boss right there, that you remember when I've managed to accidentally jump cut, but in forms of entering the likes of World 3's boss, but in forms of sweet stuff. I've somehow realized is that we have no kind of fish with me this time around, though. So we have to deal with this boss the hard way, while simply able to actually blow the projectile right back at sweet stuff. And believe me, this is really, really tough, and plus it's not easy, because you have to be right on with the actual angle right there. And if you make this one simple mistake of your shot, chances are you're not going to get too much hits on him. So even then, though, that is definitely by far the hardest way to deal with the sweet stuff, or in this case the sweet stuff boss. But even then, though, that's as far as I can tell, because even then, though, I can never seem to beat the boss attack as far as I can see, because the only boss I've actually got into at this point in during the likes of the boss rush mode is probably definitely sweet stuff, because oh my god, I just really think that the kind of fish with me will make it this boss a lot easier, because you can just simply inhale the projectile enemies into you know, kind of fish and all that stuff. But even then, though, that because of how the fact that the limitations of Kirby's movesets, but even then, that's as far as I can really try to tell for this point right there. So yeah, that is definitely by far the hardest mode of the extra bonuses stuff. So anyways, let's see the bad ending of the game, because as I mentioned earlier, this game actually has 2 different endings. Is that this is what happens if you do not collect every single rainbow drops. This means 1 rainbow drop per world. You get yourselves not the staff credits, but just the forms of the enemy roll call. Very much like how it does if you beat the extra game in Kirby's Dream Land 1. So yeah, that was it, folks. Not much else to say about the extras, honestly, besides this ending scene where it shows his animal friends, including Kirby with the parasol with him, means it actually represents it's actually rain in the background. Means that, well, there's still more to it. And, yeah, I guess that was about it, basically. That was it for the extra stuff. So, overall, in Kirby's Dream Land 2, you should definitely recommend this game if those of you who actually become a very huge fan of the Game Boy series. You can either recommend it for a physical cartridge, or simply you can able to download this game by the forms of, or buy this game on the 3DS eShop download. So even then, though, that's as far as I can really mention about this describing as Kirby's Dream Land 2. I think my only gripe I have with this game is the forms of boss difficulty, which even then, it might be a little bit more harder compared to the first game in the series, in my opinion, just because you need to figure out the different pattern most of the time. And plus, not to mention, though, that, well, usually the animal friends do look very, very cool, but even then, it's all when it gets to Kirby's Dream Land 3 that they expand upon the amount of animal friends you're going to be using. But even then, that's as far as I can tell. So anyway, and there's one more thing I could try to describe as these forms of, if you ever play this on the Super Game Boy, which needs to be purchased, by the way, for the Super Nintendo, and the original cartridge version of Kirby's Dream Land 2, you can actually manage to get yourselves a new border design, which actually tells you about Kirby and the animal friends on the display on the border. So yeah, there's the unknown right there, which we already know about. This is the forms of dark matter. So yeah, that's the beginning of the Dark Matter trilogy, because we'll get to more details until the future Kirby games. So anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching of our on my Let's Play of Kirby's Dream Land 2. So coming up next in the forms of the Kirby Marathon is definitely Kirby's Fun Pack or Kirby Superstar in North America. So this is me, Tiana, from the Maxi Toys, and until then, see you guys then. Bye.